Let's play with an exponential decay problem here. Lyme disease is the most common tick-transmitted disease in our area. It can result in a severe bacterial infection. Antibiotics are the drug of choice for treating Lyme disease. Two common antibiotics are amoxicillin and doxycycline. The following table gives information on typical adult dosage and milligrams remaining in the body for someone diagnosed with Lyme disease. So here's our table. Now, what's the recommended dosage for amoxicillin and how do you know? Well, if you look at the very first line, hours since last dose means that's how much you get in a dose. So for amoxicillin, it's 500 milligrams because that's the initial amount. And for doxycycline, it's 100 milligrams because it's the initial amount, right? When X is 0, that's your initial amount. Okay, now, how much has amoxicillin degraded from hour to hour? What's the decay factor? Well, decay factor, remember, can be found by new divided by old. So here's new, here's old. So 250 over 500 gives me 0.5. So this is my decay factor. And my decay factor and the amount it degrades together have to be 1. So it degrades 50%, and that leaves me with the decay factor of 0.5. Now, doxycycline, if I do new and old, gives me 70 over 100. 0.7 is my decay factor, which means if I would take 1 minus 0.7, that's 0.3. So it degrades 30% from hour to hour, leaving me with a 0.7 decay factor. I just found the decay factor first because I could do new divided by old to get that. Now, let's do the equation for amoxicillin. And hopefully that's not too bad. We would do Y equals initial amount, 500. I found in question number 3 my decay factor for amoxicillin to be 0.5 raised to the X, where X represents number of hours since the dosage. In number 6, we're talking about doxycycline. So we start with an initial amount of 100. Our decay factor there is 70%, or 0.7, raised to again the X, where X represents hours since last dose. And we see that medications lose their effectiveness over time. Would it be acceptable to come up with a medication that once taken would remain active indefinitely? No. You would become immune. If something was in your system consistently, your body would just become accustomed to it, and it would no longer provide help or anything to what's in there. Now, just looking at this, when do you need another dose? That question's not asked, but you can see amoxicillin goes less than 1 after 8 hours, while doxycycline is after 12 hours. So that, I don't know how they decide which drug they give you. I guess if you're allergic to one, that might be a way. And otherwise, it might be how often you want to take the drug. But there's a comparison and using a table to find degrade rates and decay factors along with exponential models.